welcome to the Morning DNA. I am Aaron Dice, the man of single black shirt. She is the Hughes woman.
Sucking on a bottle of coffee.
Isn't it million distractions, and we're here to find out what the day of January 24th, 2022 is made of.
I mean, when I get a latte that's so good that I just want to suck it out of the container, it feels like a bottle, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, it is.
This is my adult bottle.
I mean, are water bottles much different than adult bottles? You know, especially like the sippy cup type ones. Like it's, you know, we kind of have that suckling thing that is just built into our psyche. So yeah.
I got a new camera. Not sure how it's going so far, but we're doing it. Yeah. So chat got a full on new look of just straight up the underside of my coffee cup today.
Well, hey, you know.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We find new things to suckle. New drinks. Oh God.
It's all right. It's all right today. Today it's okay. We can just move on. I was thinking when the opening theme was playing, which I love our opening theme song. It's been the These Chips Are Good song. It's you know, a fun thing for us. I want These Chips Are Good on BeatStar so bad. I want to play like
oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Holy cow, yes.
Like, is there a mod where you can make your own like BeatStar levels? I don't know. I was just thinking like my thumbs were going as the song was going.
Do 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 whack whack
Exactly.
whack whack whack.
Yes.
Yeah, we could totally do it. Yeah. So for those who are not watching visually, a camera angle change is a big deal when you do a visual show. I have a total camera angle shift going on here. Not sure if I like it, but I had to change my layout. Maybe you guys can relate to this in your life. I had to change my layout because I was constantly like, I think I'm actually throwing my neck out with how I use my two screens. And so I'm just changing things up and trying to figure it out. It is different. You can still see puppies. We'll go to wide view. They're back here. You can't see puppies because my name is on it. Guys, they're right there. It's fine. Everything is going to be fine. So yeah, I'm just trying out some new stuff. And we got a new camera, which is also strange and different. But it's all for the sake of ergonomics. But it is different, and I'm not sure that I like it. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We can always change things later if we want to.
Listen, we love you. We love you a lot, but your visual experience is not quite as important as Danae's health.
I know.
You know, like there are priorities. So
it's so weird. This is going to make me sound so like old or something, but so I've been, as you guys probably know, I've been having migraines for years now. And we're trying to figure out what causes it. And they started after having a child. So it's like my body's still out of alignment or hormones or any of those things that are not fun to talk about. We don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it. But what we have come to realize is that I'm hypermobile. Like my body shifts in a lot. So some people get like really stiff and tight, or I can, you know, I'm limber, which is cool unless you keep throwing your neck out. So if I'm constantly kind of like turning to the side like this to look at something or like this to look at something and not like looking straight on, it's probably not for the best. So I have to kind of like make my setup to where I can shift around. We're going to just keep working on it until I can figure it out. Because you're right, my health is important. And if it's just the way that I'm looking, well then I guess I'm that lame old lady. I guess that's me.
You could just wear a neck brace to the show anytime you're streaming. Right? You could just actually put a neck brace on.
I could. Tune in next week. How much are neck braces? A little cheapy peepy one on Amazon maybe or something.
Yeah.
Although I'm trying not to buy from Amazon as much. I know my dollars, you know, you vote with your money is what they say. But I've been trying to not get as much on Amazon, but then they made a mistake last week where I kind of want to keep shopping on Amazon.
The mistake turned out to be in your favor?
It was a massive mistake in my favor. I ordered ABC banner kind of a thing. Like think about school classroom and they have the ABCs on the
like
walls.
A stencil or something?
Yeah. So like kids know how to write their alphabet because Iris is always asking, how do you make an A again? Or how do you make a L? Or tell me about the T or the M. And because we are always, showing her because she's really wanting to, she likes writing messages. It's adorable. Here's one from her. This is in her own language. It says, Iris loves mommy. See, there's me. And of course, this is how she writes her name. Her R is like a little running person. Okay, camera, I just bought you. Can you focus? I don't know if I like this camera, guys. But she's wanting to actually write out like, I will miss you or I love you. And so she's wanting to do it herself. Oh, well, we'll just put them up on the wall. So I ordered them. It says that they're delivered, but instead it was Apple AirPods. And I was like, okay, so did someone get me a gift? And this is a surprise. I didn't ask for Apple AirPods, but they're here. And then there was like the dilemma. Do you just keep them? Do you send them back? So I wrote the company, got onto a chat with several people. And yeah, no, you keep them. And we'll send you the ABCs again. So now I have AirPods. Brand new AirPods, and they're pretty great. I like them. But they didn't actually send me the ABC square thingies. So I went to a local shop that's been in Springfield since like 1976 or something like that. And they supply teachers. And it was this oh, Aaron, I didn't even know this was here.
You have a second home now?
It's a massive warehouse filled with office supplies.
Oh. Danae.
And like set up for classroom stuff that supports local education. I could have been in there for so long. So I got like a big thing, it's got the ABCs on there. And then there was like, I could have literally been in that store for so long. They had educational games. We ended up spending like $60 there just on games and things to play with Iris. So anyway, long story short, good morning.
Long story short, good morning could have been the title of our show.
I have missed all the chats, though. I've missed everybody's chats this morning. What have you been seeing flying by?
Some good stuff. I thought it was when you were trying to get the camera to focus. Lolly said, can you focus? Oh, the irony.
Lolly, it's too early. It's too early for the burns.
JCD had a comment getting checked out by the mods. So he was like, oh, I said something inappropriate. So it was probably just something, I don't know. He says, so apparently a comment I made is being checked by mods. I'm seeing that.
What did you say? What did you say? Oh, yeah. Oh, you said lame old lady. Apparently, my automatic mod checker is like, listen, you can't call Danae a lame old lady or say anything like it.
Yeah.
And good morning to King Twin 99, first time coming in here for our morning show.
Hey, King Twin. Thanks for hanging out for the morning DNA. Well, you ready to shoe a dough, Danae? You ready to do this?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just
no, I'm not ready
we'll wait. We'll wait.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, we're going to get into the DNA in you. The D is the D topic. That's Danae's topic. The A is the A topic. That's my topic, Aaron. And the U is you, your topic, however many we can get through at the end of the show. We are on a deadline today. We need to be out by 10. So thank you for spending an hour of your morning with us.
Yes.
But have those U questions ready to go so that we can grab those at the end. And then once we get through our topics. But Danae, what is the D topic for today?
Mine is, what is a project you started but have not finished? We had a wonderful weekend filled with a big project, which was cleaning and culling our daughter's room of toys and clutter and things like this, because she has been collecting gifts. I mean, Christmas obviously happened and another year has gone by. And I really wanted her to participate this time. And so we spent literally the entire day in her room, if you consider the day from lunch until dinner time. Because literal day, I guess, could be 24 hours to some people. I need to clarify. We did not spend 24 hours in that room.
Yeah.
It would not have gone well, but we did so much good work. We had probably 6 or 7 big bins, and I just took everything. We first started out with a game of chuck it on the bed, which was great. So it was any stuffed animal. Yeah. Any stuffed animal that you see, throw it on the bed. And so she really got into that. And then, of course, she was playing with things that she found and discovered because, of course, Justin and I were in the room with her. So she was thrilled. So she put together a puzzle by herself and was just kind of in her own space. But I got to work. I organized things and threw stuff away that could be thrown away. And then we went through several rounds of Iris making decisions. Now, so she is not quite 5 yet, but I really wanted to understand about giving things away that she no longer plays with or doesn't need any longer. So she made a decision on every single stuffed animal that she owns, whether she wanted to keep it or give it to somebody in need. And she gave away several things that we were shocked by. And the rest of them she decided to keep. Like, I'm going to say 90% she kept, but she still was really proud of her on the 10. Because again, she's not even 5.
What was the most shocking giveaway?
Her Goofy.
She's giving away her Goofy?
I know, it's shocking, right? This is and
wow.
Well, my camera freezes, by the way, also not cool. But yeah, she was like, we can give that one away to somebody in need. And both Justin and I were like, we can't give this away because this has been her toy for so long, and she took it to see Santa and she's carried it around everywhere. But she seemed to be making really conscious decisions the whole time. She'd change her mind on some things and she'd put it in a giveaway bin and then take it back out. But the Goofy she was done with.
Were you like, gosh, Iris, why are you giving me away?
Why do you sound like Sven?
I don't know. Gorsh. I just know he says gorsh.
He does say
gorsh.
gorsh.
I know. That's all I know.
And then the next things were the big pile of things that she decided to keep. We have a downstairs area where she'll sometimes go down to play as well. And so I thought that the next kind of decision process that she might be able to make would be which ones does she want to keep in her room, like at the ready, and which ones is she ready to put into the basement. And I think this is kind of helping her to almost hierarchy them a little bit. And so she took a lot and she put them down into the basement. So that was really cool. We also went through our games that we all play together. We just made some really interesting decisions on where to put things and cleaned up her room because I want her room to be have empty space in it. I don't want it to be just filled with things. The other thing that we did that was really cool that I liked is I took a bookshelf and I made her books more visual. I turned them kind of more to where she could see the cover of them rather than the spine. And she's suddenly a lot more interested in reading. She's read probably 7 books in the last 2 days. So that was a really positive kind of choice. So we've spent some time in there. However, great project. We finished the projects in her room. Now outside of her room are now 6 bins of things that are just sitting there. We have the this goes downstairs bin. We have the this is getting donated 2 or 3 bins. We have the here's some games that we took down out of the game part of the closet. These could also be donated bin. We have a trash bag that's sitting there. So we didn't actually, in my mind, in my brain, complete the project. So we started it, but didn't take it all the way over the finish line. I do this all the time with projects, and it's just, I want to get to the point where it's not done until it's done, even though I'm tired, even though I'm hungry. Like, let's just do 10 more minutes. I bet we can run up and down these stairs and just get all this stuff done really quickly. I bet we could take all these donates directly to the car and at least get them in the car. And that way the house is kind of set back to where it was when we began. I wonder how long it's going to sit out there is what I'm saying.
Well, that is the question, right? Like the question isn't, necessarily can you get it all done at once? It's can you go back to it? And that's what's hard for a lot of people is like when you're in that moment, it's like, yeah, let's do this thing. But then if you don't finish it, like when is the next time, especially Danae with your personality type, where you're going to be like, yeah, now is the time to do this thing. And it's like, who knows? It could be 5 years from now.
It could be. And that's scary because there's nowhere to walk in the hallway. That's the motivation, right? You put it right in front of where you step.
Sure.
And Danae just steps over it. But also
Right.
we have hardwood floors and I have slippery socks. And I said, I'm limber. So if I step over something and slip, all of a sudden I'm doing the splits. And guys, that leads to a migraine. Okay.
Everything leads to a migraine.
Oh my gosh.
Strangely enough, while you're looking for some comments from the chat, who has some great stories of similar things, because I do think this is a common thing, we have an unfinished project that we started this weekend as well. We have a new bed in our guest room that takes up a lot of the space where the TV stand was in that room. So we've removed the TV stand and are now hanging the TV on the wall. So the project was to hang the TV on the wall.
Right.
Which we did we found the studs, we put up like the base of the TV hanger, and then we hung up the TV, and it was like an inch lower on the right side than it was on the left side. And we did the level on the thing.
How is that possible?
So here's the problem and you just have to be so accurate with your leveling, because the slightest fraction of being off level expands out the 60 inches of the TV, and it becomes, so even though it's just like this much not level, it's like this on the wall,
Yeah, you can't be like good enough. You have to be.
No, it has to be
perfection.
Precise level.
Oh, God.
To hang those things. So we decided, instead of, because the project is, we can't just raise the one side a little bit, because you put these massive holes in the studs, right? So you have to raise it like an inch or lower it like an inch, so you're not like cranking into the same holes, right? And then just damaging the studs. So, so it's a whole new leveling, put it back up, an inch higher or whatever. And what we decided was, we ordered one of those things where you put the outlets behind the TV and then run the power down to the power outlet. So we're going to wait till that comes in, and then we're going to install that and rehang at the same time. So,
oh man, that's a bummer. That's a huge bummer.
It really is.
I'm sorry that happened.
We were so proud of ourselves. Man, we were doing so good.
That just makes me appreciate my dad even more, because my dad hung the one downstairs. Mm-hmm. He's been hanging TVs for friends for a while, and I would hire a professional too. That's my phone. This is my ringtone.
Love it. It's like old school.
Let's screen the call.
Danae answering her phone as she listens to the screen call.
I'm doing the screener thing with Google right now. Just to do like a quick aside, my phone does the screener thing where it says, like, it answers for me and says, hey, the person that you're wanting to reach is screening this call from Google.
And you can watch them respond in text. It's amazing.
Yeah, so we're just going to hang up because that one's spam.
Yeah.
And then I get to report it as spam, and it goes on a spam list, which is honestly one of my favorite things to do.
I love the screening feature on the Pixels. I think it's every phone will have that.
It's so great
within the next couple of years. Yeah.
Let's go to the chat for some of the projects you guys have. Don't mean to trigger anybody. Let's just say also, it's okay. We all do projects differently. It's okay. We're not judging. We're just having a conversation. JCD says, let's see. I have a few books that I want to write. Now, these are projects that you have you started writing the books? Because it says you want to write. Did you start them already? And what constitutes starting a book? Is it just a Post-it note? Because then I have about 45 books I started.
Right. That is the question. And I don't think so. I think to start a project is to actually sit down and go, okay, now I'm accomplishing. Yeah. It's not the planning part, because so many, especially as a creative person, Danae, you know this. You probably, if you wanted to, you could probably sit down and list 50 creative ideas that you haven't actually sat down and gone, okay, let's start this.
I have a folder right over there of, I could go over and grab it and open it, and it's just ideas just exploding out in different forms of paper. Yes.
Well, our friend and boss Jeremy this weekend announced a podcast that we're looking at doing together officially. We've got something in the calendar to start working on. That's been in my brain for 4 years. We've been talking about this podcast.
Crazy.
So I would consider that day we sit down to record as starting the project. I don't think you can consider, planning or ideas as starting a project. But
JCD clarifies and says, I did start, like, actually starting chapter 1.
There you go.
So
yeah,
there you
absolutely.
go. Slab says, "Oh, only unpacking from my move for the last 240 days."
Unpacking.
I feel that.
At some point, you just throw away what you haven't unpacked yet, right? At some point,
no.
If you get a year or two down the road and you're in a new house and you still have a box that you haven't touched,
lean in, Aaron.
Throw it away.
I do this because I care. No. No, let me tell you about some things. I found a little bag of mine that I hadn't used for a couple of years, and I was thinking about donations and stuff.
Yeah.
I reached into it, and there was a ring I've talked about on the show that I had been missing and for years. And if I would have just thrown that away, I was so bummed that I had lost this ring because I was keeping such good close care of it.
Yeah.
And there it was in an unexpected little
I'm not saying don't look
thing.
through it. I'm just saying look through it and toss things as you're looking through it.
Yeah, but knowing you'd be willing to just be like, I obviously haven't needed anything in this for the last X amount of years.
No, I would look through a box.
Okay.
I wouldn't just throw away a box that hadn't been opened in 2 years. There may be like a valuable baseball card in there or something. You don't know. Yeah,
Slab's coming for you. He adds, it's not stuff from my childhood. So no, Aaron, I'm not tossing. No, it's all stuff from my childhood. So no, Aaron, I'm not tossing it.
I threw away so much stuff from my childhood.
Did you know that, Slab? Did you know that, chat? Do you know that, podcast listeners?
About what? Me throwing away stuff from my childhood? I don't have a connection to it.
Doesn't keep anything.
Yeah, it's just
so
stuff. It's just stuff. There are very few physical objects for me, and I know I'm different than a lot of people. For me, it's the memories that are amazing, and I know people attach memories to physical objects. I'm just not as much like that.
It's okay.
I do have some things, though. I do have some things.
I only judge you a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's one from Polly who says, "Oh no, I have ADHD. I have many hobbies. There are unfinished projects in all of them. So unfinished models and half-learned songs on the guitar, etc." Yes. I don't know. Like in my mind, and when I was thinking about this question, it's like, because I'm the same in a lot of ways where I'm really creative. What constitutes a project? If the project is learning 5 songs and I've learned 4, then I haven't completed the project yet. But if the project is one, you know what I mean? Like I kind of have to just define what project means. Like for cleaning Iris's room, mission accomplished. Her room is clean. However, the items that were part of that culling not yet taken care of, and that to me is kind of encapsulated in the project. So
right.
Yeah, I think we have to give ourselves some creative freedom, though, for those of us who like pick up a song and put it down. One thing for me is a mood. I have to be in the mood to learn a song. It takes dedication and time and everything. And that's not always something that you can have. Kastrov says, I found a bunch of cassette tapes in my dad's storage, and I thought I could make an SQL database to catalog them and eventually sell them. I gathered all the information on the tapes and took pictures, but I never got around to the actual database part yet. I added the word "yet" on the end of that, Kastrov. You did not actually type that.
That was a very optimistic and kind thing to add to Kastrov there, just to throw a "yet" on there.
You know, I feel like one of the things too that I've learned as time has gone on is it's so important to be willing to ask for help. I recently asked a friend to come over to the house and join me from like a personal assistant standpoint, because I do have so many unfinished projects that I really want to finish, but I need help, and I have a little bit of a extra budget. So I was like, can I give you this much monies for you to come and spend time with me and help me like get over the finish line? A lot of them kind of similar to you, Kastrov, where I've started something, it's gone a good chunk of the way. I just need someone to not necessarily hold my hand all the time, but maybe hold me accountable in some cases, hold my hand in others, and just take it off my plate and finish it in some. So
sometimes you just need Aaron to come over and throw stuff away.
That's right. Sometimes you need an Aaron in your life.
Real Mikey asks if it's my turn to wear his Letterman jacket yet. I just realized my Letterman jacket is hanging right in the other room. If you want me to go bring that, I have my Letterman jacket from high school.
So that's one thing you did keep.
I did. I don't know why. It just hangs there.
It must mean something to you.
I have no idea. I guess I did like my high school, but I don't know.
Your brother is in the chat right now, and he says that he actually owns more things from your childhood than you do, and he still wears your clothes.
Oh, that is for sure true. For sure.
I love it. Really Mikey Alexander also says, unfinished project, rearranging my living room / apartment. I'm halfway through, but I still need to swap the dining table with the TV into opposite rooms. I'm trying to get my second bedroom becoming a movie / games / writing room. Oof. Good luck on that. It feels so good when you get the things set up. It took me having a personal organizer in this space to make this space what it is. If it was up to me, it would still be absolute chaos in here. So just another, even if you just turn on a video camera and show someone around, like, what should I do with this? It's so helpful for me to be like, what do I do with this? I don't know where this goes. And someone says, right there. It goes right there. Okay, thank you. And then you can move on.
You know, one of my favorite things is so listen, I'm contradicting myself, a little bit of a hypocrite here, but one of my favorite things is I should say, the blankets that my mom made out of my old t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
I have 4 of those that she quilted from like all my old t-shirts, the ones that I had, not the ones that my brother has. Or maybe we did. Maybe we snagged some from my brother too. I'm not sure. But yeah. So I don't know. That's just that is something interesting about just looking back and knowing, these were my single black shirt for a portion of my life. So yes, one of the quilts is just a bunch of black t-shirts.
We have a request to turn up your volume.
Yeah, I was going to deal with that between our topics.
Okay.
We have a volume disparity going on. I set mine to automatically adjust, hoping that would fix it, but I don't think yours is set to automatically adjust. So I think if we set both of ours to automatically adjust, that might figure it out.
Okay,
So if you go down to the Cam Mic Cobb, just turn on the automatically adjust your volume.
Oh my god. Okay. How about that now? There you go, guys. Thanks for helping us with that.
Does that work? And go ahead and confirm.
Let us know. Works. I completely, like I said, reorganized my whole setup here, which meant that I unplugged and replugged everything back in, and I got a new camera. So for the last 4 or 5 days now, people have been like, Danae, you're so quiet. Even in my role play games that I've been jumping in and playing, I felt so bad. Until I realized that it's because this microphone on my new camera was the main one. And for everything I have been doing, I've been talking into this microphone, but it hasn't mattered at all. So yeah, thanks guys for all your help with setup and stuff. We appreciate that. Lolly says, I have 6 bags of my husband's clothes in the boot of my car waiting for me to pass the donation center, which has been closed for the first few times. They've been in the car almost 2 months, but I don't want to bring them back into the house.
Oh, nice.
That's okay.
Yeah, just let it live there. Danae, if you will now go into your settings and take off automatically adjust, we're going to get this right, and then adjust your mic volume on the slider down to match mine, because mine's maxed. I've got mine maxed out.
Mine's at 54 right now, Aaron.
Well, there you go.
Well, you want me to max mine?
No, I want it turned down. You're louder than me.
I understand. Where do you want it to be? So right now it's at 91. Where do you want it to be? If yours is at...
Take it down to 50 or so.
Uh-huh. Okay, there we go. 50.
Yeah. How's that work? How's everybody feel about that?
All right, we'll keep going.
Nice.
Check. Sonic Screwdriver says, for the record, she's always louder than Aaron. It's true.
I don't know. I don't know if that's if that was genuinely meant as like most shows she's louder, or if that was a real life comment.
I think he's being a butt. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for all your input on that. Aaron, you want to go to your topic?
Sure, let's do it. Okay. The A topic for this morning: what's something you enjoy that most people seem not to enjoy? What is something you take joy in that most people, it is not that way? Interested to hear your thoughts on this. This comes from tax season. I love tax season. I don't know what it is, but I get so excited when the year turns, and I'm like, I get to dig into my accounts and see, what the year looked like financially, and most people are like, let's not even think about taxes until April or maybe October or and I'm just like, let's do this. Let us do this. So yeah, that's kind of where the idea comes from. Like, what's something in your life that you really, really seem to enjoy? Yeah.
Man, this is a strange one for me. I'm probably massage therapy. Not a lot of people really enjoy, working on other people, getting in close into their space or listening to them talk about their body pain or which inevitably leads to them talking about like even emotional pain because they're so intrinsically tied together. I think I've had many conversations over the years of people being like, oh wow, that's something you like doing. And I really love working on people. I don't do it professionally any longer. Like I don't have paid clients anymore, but with my friends and family that I see, I still, it's like if I reach over and kind of like just pat their shoulder, my instinct is to start digging in and then like working out their tissue. And so that's probably one. I can't think of very many others.
You enjoy massaging people's shoulders or doing body work, and most people that would be like, not my thing.
I don't think so. I don't think most people enjoy doing that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've not really thought about this too much. Can you think of one for me?
Not right off the top of my head.
Oh, I definitely know what it is. Talking to strangers. Talking to anyone.
Yeah. Could be. This one's great. This is exactly what I was looking for. It Don't Connect says, this is very specific, but I love the smell of elephants. They smell like home to me.
Can we talk about why it smells like home? Did you grow up like around a zoo or something? And why specifically elephants?
But isn't that beautiful? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like there's this thing that you would never assume of somebody. It's like, what I bet that person does? I bet they love the smell of elephants. That's just not something that's typical. And that is something, it's a little bit claim your quirk, right? We've done claim your quirk before. This is a little bit in that vein.
Yeah, this is definitely in that vein, for sure.
Where it's like something that makes, you unique, and specifically something that you enjoy that most people don't seem to. The smell of elephants is a great one. I like that a lot.
This is a new chatter. Thanks for jumping in. SB Josh 2010 says, I love it when stuff gets chaotic at my job because I thrive in it. No one talks to me. I can run around and be a bamf. Let's hope that then. Did I just say something offensive? I don't know.
Are you gonna look it up, or are you just gonna be like? Because I know what I think it is.
I think it's a big ass mother blanker. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But bamf sounds so much better. Yeah. Thank you, SB Josh, for bringing that deliciousness to our chat. I do instinctively want to know what your job is because chaos at a job is different. We have somebody, actually, I think, isn't it Real Mikey as a zoologist? Like chaos at that job is a very different than chaos at like McDonald's or something. Although I do understand the thriving off of chaos. I really do.
Let's see. Nick says, don't tell my wife, but I actually like mowing the lawn. It takes about 3 hours. I have a push mower, so it's not great, but it's uninterrupted podcast time in the summer. I also love doing the pattern. I hated mowing the lawn, but liked the things you're talking about. I did like the uninterrupted podcast time and also the pattern thing, but it was not enough to overcome how much I hated the being outdoors and the physical labor and the fact that I almost died mowing the lawn once.
That's true. That did happen.
That was the last time I mowed the lawn, was the time that my new heart device was like, your heart's beating 185 beats per minute.
Well,
right
it doesn't
now.
help that your backyard is like at a night. It's like this it's a crazy steep incline. You're just pushing up this lawn. You have a push mower. You're just
it really is like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cardiologist was like, you've never had an event, but you had one this time, and your heart rate was in the 180s for a solid 20 minutes. And like, what were you doing on this day? And I was like, I have no idea. And then my wife figured out you mowed the lawn that day, and that was the day you had to come in and sit in a chair for an hour and just like recover.
Holy crap! For clarification, SB Josh says, a large quantity baker for a chain of local grocery stores, making cakes, cookies, breads, pies, donuts, you name it, they bake it. Holy moly. Chaos in a bakery.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. We're talking flour everywhere. We're talking ovens at the wrong temperature. We're talking about entire bins of bagels.
You know the nice
turned
thing
into
about
hockey pucks.
You know the nice thing about working at a bakery, Danae?
Oh no, what?
You make a lot of dough. It's true.
Thank you, Aaron.
It's easy. It's right there. It's the oldest joke ever, and I'm sure SB Josh 2010 has heard it so many times. He actively is hating me right now. Actively, probably.
Wow.
It Don't Connect says, I volunteered with elephants for years. So there you go. There's the elephant
See,
connection.
there it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. They must have a very specific smell. I oddly feel similarly about barns, horse barns specifically, because I went into some when I was a kid growing up, because I'm like basically, I think I'm one generation removed or two generation. I'm one generation removed from being a farm girl on one side and like two on the other. I think I would have potentially, I'm like in line for a dairy farm on one side, like just a normal cow farm on the other. Like no dairy, just beef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was around barns, and there's a very specific smell to a barn.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my dad saying to me when I was really little, I love this smell. And I just took a big whiff, and I remember thinking, well, isn't that just poop? But it's not. It's hay and...
Mm-hmm. You got to get the hay smell in there.
Yeah. Hay and...
Methane.
And, yeah.
Yep, all that.
Oh my gosh.
JCD says, I enjoy my puns. Most people around me don't seem to, though.
Perfect.
With you, that fits very well into that. Nick says something that I was thinking about saying when we were talking about Banff. He likes being Nightcrawler, teleporting everywhere. That is the teleportation noise in the comic book for Nightcrawler. Is Banff? I believe it's something like that at least.
Bam, bam. This one's from Lolly. I feel this way about vacuuming all the carpets.
Interesting. Like the patterns and listening to it's hard to listen to podcasts while you're I guess mowing the lawn is loud too. I was being like, vacuuming's loud. I'm like, well, have you been behind a lawnmower recently, Aaron?
Yeah, just get noise canceling headphones. Pop those suckers in. Yeah, order yourself some ABC's stuff from Amazon and get an Apple AirPods.
Get some free AirPods. You never know how that's gonna work. Let's see.
You want to go to the U questions?
Yeah, we can do that. What I was going to say in that conjunction while you're thinking about putting up your U questions, another thing that could be this category for me is running on a treadmill. And it does have a lot to do with uninterrupted podcast time. I know I'm working out. Plus, once you run for a little bit, you do start getting those endorphins that kick in pretty early on when you run. So today I ran 25 minutes. So over 2 miles.
I just like to check out when Aaron starts to talk about anything to do with working out. I just check out.
Is that a guilt thing? Is that like you feel like you should be working out, or is it just like why do you check out thinking about me working out? Is it because you think about yourself working out, or what is it?
Oh, is it time to go into my psyche? Okay.
It's therapy time with DNA.
Time? I thought it was U question time. Quickly, chat, get to the U questions. Oh, look, one from JCD just popped in. You question, how do you handle moments when you realize the emotional investment that you've put into a relationship is not worth it? This is a good one. This is a good one.
Hard. There's
difficult. A story here. I don't feel like sharing in a public forum. You don't have to. Mm-hmm, we all do not need to know the details of whomever you're talking about. How do you handle moments when you realize the emotional investment that you've put into a relationship is not worth it? How do you handle moments? I usually, as someone who has had many relationships and had this happen many times, I think when you begin to realize that the emotional investment in someone isn't having the payoff that you want it to have, you either, one, talk about it with that person, knowing that it might change their perspective and they may attempt to find a way to connect with you on a deeper level, not to change them, but because they love you and they know that they can meet a need that you have differently. Because there is a give and take in relationship. This is for friendships. This is for like actual relationships too. But if it's someone that you really don't see yourself spending a lot of time with down the line, this is when I would begin to kind of pull back and come up with your exit plan. So, depending on how intricately tied you are with someone, you have to begin to think about things like, if I'm not going to be with this person like I thought that I was going to be, what does that mean for me? What does this mean for them? Ultimately, you only have yourself. Like, you need to take care of yourself. And if you or whomever you're talking about is in an unhealthy situation where the investment that you're putting into someone is not healthy now or long term, and it's time to take a break, then take a break. Or if it's time to separate temporarily or permanently, just begin to make that happen. The sooner the better, in my opinion. I think that we often, this is the last thing I'll say, but I think that we often sometimes think you have to wait for a big explosion, like some reason to leave or a reason to back out. And those are often very cinematic. We see them in the movies all the time. It's the big blow up, like, this is the reason. See, you're doing this thing again, blah, blah, blah. In actuality, when you realize that it's just not working, you don't have to have a big, big reason. It can just not feel right. And that's okay. And you also just have to know, sorry, I have one more thing. You also do have to know that that other person might not ever understand why. And you just need to be okay with it yourself. Don't stay out of obligation as a big one for me.
I'm going to take the angle here of making a distinguished or a distinguishing question, which is, as you have stated the question, you're talking about the emotional investment you've put into a relationship not being worth it. That to me is different than health issues, codependency, issues of danger, issues of, those kind of things. I would say it has been my experience that emotional investment is always worth it. Now, what you're talking about here is the idea of, when do you cut ties? When do you say, okay, this relationship isn't something that I need to put any more emotional investment in. Mm-hmm. I am typically the wide-eyed, naive, person, lifer kind of person that's just like, no, unless you are putting, my life in danger, or I am an unhealthy part of your life, you are an unhealthy part of my life, I'm willing to figure it out and push through and stick it, because I think the beauty of long-term relationships is unmatched. There's nothing in community that can match the idea of longevity. And it's such a beautiful thing when you find humans that you can actually have long-lasting relationships with and work through the stuff that feels hard or difficult. But not every relationship is a match. So for me, I tend to identify quickly in my own mind, and I could be right or wrong, if this is somebody that I could hang out with the rest of my life and be a friend to, or if it's somebody that we're just not a friend match, then I don't invest a lot of energy right from the beginning. So, so for me, it's kind of a hire slowly kind of situation, where it's like, really do the work on the front end of the relationship, so that you're not facing stuff on the back end where it's like, I don't like hanging out with this person. Why are we friends? Because that's a rough thing. And I just, I haven't experienced that much, because I just, I don't tend to. Maybe it's a selfish thing. I don't tend to make deep friendships with people I don't enjoy hanging out with. So yeah.
Whereas I will experiment with friendships because I'm like, I don't know. Do I like hanging out with you? You're unique. Right, you're different. Right. Like I have been friends with all kinds of people, which is why Aaron and I are very different people. Real Menke Alexander adds,
great friends.
These are some good tips to also remind yourself of why you should stop thinking about what happens if you get back together. Yeah, there's a lot there. I have a friend that I've known for a very, very long time, and we have a very, very, very on the nose pattern. She calls me when she has a need. I meet her with that need, kind of expecting that maybe our friendship is going to start up again. She bails on me all the time.
Right.
For a long time. So now, as hard as it is, if she reaches out to me, it's just nothing from me because I know the pattern and I know, or if I do decide to interact with her, I have no expectations of there being some kind of a reciprocation. I'm just doing it because it feels like something I should do, or I can't overlook. And those things happen over time. You kind of realize those patterns as time goes on.
And what we have to say with any conversation like this is nobody can make that decision but you, whether you're talking about a romantic relationship, whether you're talking about a friendship, whether you're talking, about even a family member, right? Like no matter what you're talking about as far as there's several different kinds of relationships. We're all different. We all understand our mental health and physical health differently. We can't answer that question for anybody but ourselves. And,
well, and time changes you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I invest in people very differently than I did when I had more time for people. Now I don't have time. So I'm way pickier now with who I spend time with or chat with and things like this. Yeah. So, but it's always tricky. I think the key thing here is that whoever, you're talking about or whatever situation that you're in is when you realize that you're becoming emotionally depleted due to a circumstance, it is the only thing that you can control is how much you're giving, and you can choose to give less. And if it's something that the other person notices and asks about, you might have to have some awkward conversations about just, your resources changing.
Sure.
But there is this thing called the vampire. I'm going to try to find it.
Well, while you're looking for that, JCD follows up and says, "Not gonna lie, this is the conversation I need to hear this morning."
Good.
I'm glad, and I hope, like Danae said, we have differing views on this, but I think kind of the same foundation, which is to pursue health in the relationships that you have. I think we're all built differently, and JCD, I think you have to ask yourself, whatever specifically you're going through, what is this situation you're in, and is it a situation where you need to take a breath? Is it a situation where you need to communicate honestly to someone and say, "Here's what I'm dealing with, and I'm going to take a breather from our relationship"? Is it something you just need to disappear because or ghost because they wouldn't understand it? It would be healthier just to end it quickly. Like, there's so many questions in a situation like this. One of the questions is this actually worth, investing and sacrificing a little bit of myself more for, because down the road, there's something really beautiful and interesting here. And, all those questions, I think,
perspective
apply.
is really good in that. And in that, I would say, if you or this whomever we're talking about is in a situation where they need to have perspective, like, am I in a healthy one? Like,
right.
There's been a couple of times where I didn't realize how unhealthy my relationship was with a friend specifically. And after the third, fourth, fifth person was like, "Are you sure that this is a friend to you? Because this is the pattern I'm saying." It really did take me a long time to kind of be convinced, that I wasn't a bad thing. Okay. So I've talked about these cards before. If you guys have any other questions, we probably could take one more before we're going to wrap up today, because both Aaron and I have some stuff that we got to do this morning. But I have used these cards in the past. This is not a tarot deck. This is called the Archetype Cards. And the idea is that this is an incomplete deck, meaning you can make your own too, but that there are these types of us as people, like one of them being our self-sabotage person, right? And then we think about sabotage. I'm going to start with sabotage, and I'm going to get to vampire in a second, because vampire seems like a big leap to start with. But the saboteur is, we often think about as being negative, but there are good parts of that sabotage part of us too. So these cards have the light part of that and the shadow part, or the good or the bad or whatever. So I'll read the saboteur.
It's very Star Wars.
And then I'm going to read the vampire card. So the saboteur says this highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes that it would bring to your life. So if you realize that you're in a self-sabotaging pattern, if you're trying to kind of turn it more into the positive, you can ask yourself things like, what's going on in my life that can bring life to my life that I'm trying to like destroy? Like, what's going on here? Because we have self-saboteur tendencies. If you're operating in like the darker part of this in your life or in a circumstance, and obviously you're inducing self-destructive behavior, or the desire to undermine other people. And they all have these really pretty artwork. God, this camera, I'm just not sure I like it, guys. I think I'm going to have to find a camera. Okay, but here's the vampire. And the reason that I thought about this is because when I first came across this one, I was in like operating in the light side. And we were having a really deep conversation, and I was just thinking about like, oh, if I was a dark vampire. It was a very goth moment for me. Anyways, the light attribute of this is it makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. So at the very least in my life, I now have a really attuned way of knowing when someone is just sucking the life out of me. Because it's happened so much, I can see it coming from a mile away. Yeah. So I'm pretty tuned into this one. However, if I was operating in the darker part of this part of our personalities, I would be depleting others for physical survival, like people asking for money all the time, things like that, and chronic complaining and codependency. So this is just a way to kind of gauge things. Guys, there's tons of these. If you ever want to like look into them, they're really introspective. The idea is that we all have like 8 or 12 personality types kind of active at a certain phase of our life. And so you essentially go through like, God, look how many there are. There's a lot. And you pull out the ones that you're like really identifying with, whether you're doing the negative side or the positive side. And it just kind of helps to give you perspective about what part of your personality is driving the bus of your life and maybe which ones you need to put in the driver's seat instead of. So if your self-saboteur is driving, you might need to flip it over to the lighter side and let something else take control for a little while. Anyway, hope that's helpful.
Shopes97 says, I don't have a question. I just want to say I like you both. You seem really sweet. This is the first stream I've sat through. I enjoyed hanging out. Have a good day, everybody. Glad I found you through Moco.
Hey, cool.
Nice.
Thanks for coming to hang out. We do this every Monday and Sunday. Some days being we would like to be able to go live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays or sometime, but most of the time you can catch us here at 9 a.m. Central every Monday. Here on Twitch, I also stream on Tuesdays in the evening hours for myself. So around 6 p.m. Central is when I will go live and do a little bit of role playing on a Red Dead Redemption 2 server. So that'll be tomorrow if you want to check that out.
And 9 a.m.
where can they catch you?
Yeah, 9 a.m. on Sundays on my Twitch. I do a pop culture movie review show if you're interested at all in that kind of stuff. So that would be on my Twitch. As well as YouTube, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
And yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the show for today, guys. We really appreciate you hanging out with us from all the different platforms. For those of you guys who are on Twitch, all 25 of you, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, especially for all of the subs this last month. You guys are insane, and I genuinely appreciate you. I'm going to send you over to some music. I was just checking out this person who does like this mixtape. I think it's Kamikaze mixtape. And I was really, really enjoying the chill vibe. Don't know if he's switched from chill vibe, like morning DJ, to mid-morning. Not sure, but we're going to listen to some music together after I send you over there. Anything else, Aaron?
It's not that get out of bed guy that you like so much, is it?
No, it's not that guy.
All right, guys, we love you. We'll catch you on the next Monday or someday. Bye.
Bye.